It's another match preview. I bet you're loving these match previews. At the end of the day, I need to speak about the game beforehand because I didn't want to just give it no context and make the vlog come out and not have any thoughts on the channel beforehand. So here is another one. This is Scottish Cup, of course. Scottish Cup weekend. Only going to one Scottish Cup game this weekend. It could have turned out differently if Dundee United had got through against Hibs, because it would have then been BSC versus Dundee United on the Friday night. I probably would have still went to Stirling Albion versus Queen's Park on the Saturday, and then the Sunday probably could have went to Clyde v Celtic, perhaps. But it's not turned out that way. I've chosen BSC Glasgow versus Hibs simply because it could possibly be the biggest cup shock of all time in the Scottish Cup. If you agree or disagree, let me know in the comments below. Alright lads, we'll come back to another video on this one. As I've said, going to be preview for BSC Glasgow versus Hibs in the Scottish Cup. The Scottish Cup last 16. Now, BSC Glasgow even getting to this point is obviously fantastic for their football club. They're a very, very, very young football club. I think 2014 was when they were established. That just goes to show the standard of this achievement that they've made. Getting to the last 16 of the Scottish Cup, just 5 years, 6 years. Try and do the maths correctly, Ben. Let's just go for 6 years. Round it up if it's over 5. For the sake of making this 100% correct, I did do some research into BSC Glasgow's history, and they are indeed just turned 6 years old. There's no month specifically about it, so I can only go by what I can see. 6 years into their existence, they're in the last 16 of the Scottish Cup. They will be delighted with a home tie against Hibs. They obviously have to play at the Indooroil Stadium. That is their home ground, despite their name being Glasgow. They are playing their games in Alloa. That isn't their future plans. They want to move back to Glasgow, and I'm just going to take advantage of the fact that they do play in Alloa for now. It's another non-league team that plays locally, so it gives me a chance to go and see them, give them a wee bit of extra advertisement, because at the end of the day, in the last game I went to, when they played Bonnyrigg Rose, there was more views on my video than there was people at the game. So ultimately, I do want to give them that extra wee bit of advertisement. And that also brings into equation another topic to do with this game. That is the pricing. Now, I had a wee debate with one of my mates on Twitter the other week, last week, when the prices were announced, and I went and bought the tickets on the same day, about the ticket prices. And obviously BSC Glasgow being a Lowland League side, they don't charge a hell of a lot generally. They think it's £7 for an adult, £4 for concessions, and under 16s getting free. Now obviously, fantastic pricing. There can be no arguments with those prices. However, of course, with this game being the one-off cup tie that it could be, and the fact that they might never get in this position again as a football club, BSC Glasgow, it's fantastic that they've gotten here, but realistically they need to look at this as a one-off, a simple one-off, because Hibs, Premiership side, likely to knock BSC Glasgow out. BSC Glasgow may never get to the last 16 of the Scottish Cup again, and may never get a tie against a bigger club like Hibs ever again. So they put their pricing out as seating options. They put £2 up from the normal pricing. So I think the normal pricing was something like £20 for an adult and £14. I better get the normal pricing. Let me just check this. BSC Glasgow's Twitter. Let's find the pricing. So, we have the prices here. On sale now. Seating, £22 for an adult, £10 for concession. Standing, £20 and £10 for concession. Now, the main argument that my mate CJ had was that 20's plenty. And even that, he said £15 maximum for a BSC Glasgow game. Now, if you go with the argument of 20's plenty, then they have covered that with a standing option. And then to get a seating option, which could be classed as a bit of a luxury, I suppose, they've went with £2 up from that. So ultimately they've went with that 20's plenty rule and then just put it slightly up for a wee seating choice. But I'm not deluded to the fact that these prices are obviously massively above what BSC Glasgow already put out there, already offer to their fans. And another argument that CJ was having was that the loyal fans that turn up game on game deserve better. They deserve better pricing because of the loyalty they've shown to the club over its very short history. But my argument was that it's a one-off cup game, and BSC Glasgow need to kind of milk this one dry, milk it for all it's worth, because, as I said, they might never get in this position again. If they don't get in this position again, and they didn't milk it for all it was worth, then they might regret it slightly. They could have went from being £15 for an adult to 20, and the game would have passed, and they would have known they could have made X amount more. Of course, if this was BSC Glasgow's normal pricing, then I would be very much questioning it, and I probably wouldn't be going because of the pricing, because it's just not really worth it. But the fact that it's a one-off game, I wanted to kind of put a wee bit in and just support them for the sake of it, because it is going to be a decent game. I'm looking forward to it. As I said, it could be the biggest cup shock of all time in the Scottish Cup. That's a very debatable point by myself, but I do believe that it could be that if BSC Glasgow do go on to defeat Hibs, because very short history of football club BSC Glasgow, obviously playing in the Lowland League, multiple levels below Hibs, and Hibs are very much expected to win this game with the quality they've got in their squad. Hibs reserve side should be good enough to beat BSC Glasgow, so that is why I think this would be the biggest cup shock of all time in the Scottish Cup if BSC Glasgow are indeed to pull off a win here. Even if they manage to get a replay, it'll be utterly fantastic for them, and it'll be even more money in the bank. Let me know what you think about this pricing structure down below. It was an interesting wee debate on Twitter, and I actually put up a poll regarding it, and it was very close when it came to it. It got hundreds of votes, and it came very close. It wasn't a very big split between the two. So ultimately, I think it's going to massively split opinion. And like the video I did the other day, whether Hamilton and Livingston are indeed a disgrace to the Scottish Premiership or not, I think this one really will split opinion. I want to know your thoughts. So once again, I will be down in the comments of this video to answer anything you've got for me in those comments. And maybe you can get a wee kind of debate going well with people as well, because that's what the comments section is for, isn't it? Get your score predictions in for this video as well. Once again, send them in on social media, and I will get to putting you in the video. Again, 8 or 9. I'll be accepting. Once again, my prediction, I'm obviously having to go for a Hibs win here. It simply has to be. I'm not going to go naive and go for the cup upset. It would be delightful to see it happen just because it would be such a story. But ultimately, Hibs are going to run out easy winners in this one, aren't they? Surely. BSC Glasgow to grab a goal though. Let's just give them it. 3-1 Hibs. But I tell you one goal scorer that won't be scoring for Hibs. That man Kevin Nisbet. Get up, you. Hey. Bye, that's it for this video, guys. Cheers for watching. If you did enjoy it, please give it a like, comment down below your thoughts on all of the things I've spoken about, ticket prices, predictions for the game, etc, etc. Subscribe for more of this type of content, and until the next video, I'll see you then. Cheers, guys.